Hi everybody, welcome to my pecha-kucha. My topic today is microeconomic theory. My question is, what is microeconomics? Well, it's how people make decisions, optimal or otherwise, when faced with finite resources and uncertain conditions. Let's meet the players. There's two people that we'll talk about in this topic, consumers and producers. Now who are they? Well, they're all just people, but they act on different sides of the coin. When you go to work, you're a producer. When you spend the fruits of your labor, you're a consumer. Consumers. Now they're faced with two things, unlimited wants and finite resources. Because resources, like their time and money, are limited, they must make decisions to choose between consumption options. For every action taken, there is an opportunity cost that must be considered for the foregone option. A rational individual will make every decision based on the marginal or extra benefit that they receive in terms of a marginal cost, which, in the case of other goods, is its opportunity cost. As economists, we believe in the rule of diminishing marginal utility. This means that as we buy more of a good, we experience consistently smaller increases in happiness. That's because we have what we call in economics strictly convex preferences. The first part of anything we get is the best. The first bite of apple, piece of chocolate, or that first sip of beer after a hard day's work. But ask the child who's eaten too much Easter candy, or the college freshman who's had more than one too many beers, just how much extra utility they got, and we can clearly see that happiness diminishes with consumption. Since we have to pay for the choices we make, we consume the goods that bring us the most happiness per dollar spent. That means that although there is no contest between buying a Ferrari and a stick of gum, most of us will never buy a Ferrari, since the per dollar marginal benefit doesn't compare with the value of a stick of gum. The amount of things consumers want to buy is a function of the amount of their free time that they are willing to give up in order to work, since each consumer must work for or own a firm in order to obtain the money they need to consume goods. Thus, firms have to pay a wage that is at least equal to the foregone benefit of the free time they give up. So how do firms decide how much to pay workers? Like consumers, producers decide to use the factors of production, things like land, labor, machinery, and money, at levels that maximize their per dollar contribution to output. The optimal mix of labor and capital is where the per dollar values of the last unit used are equal for all factors. Like with happiness, economists believe in a diminishing marginal value of the factors of production. For this, imagine an assembly line with one worker. Output is limited by the speed of that worker. If we put a second worker on the line, output doubles. As more workers are added, though, they become less efficient, and may even start to decrease the total output. If firms optimize their input mix, they can be sure they are operating at efficient levels. Thus, when the last unit of the good they make costs exactly what the firms receive in revenue, they have maximized their profit, which is the goal of the firm. Under profit maximization, firms are said to be both allocatively and productively efficient. But how do firms know how much they will receive in revenue? One may assume that firms simply set a price and force consumers to pay that price, but in reality, firms must work within the framework of the market. Imagine a bazaar where everyone is selling the same good. Let's call them widgets. Consumers have decided how many widgets they'd like to buy depending on the price they observe. If the price goes down, the per dollar value they get from widgets will increase, and they'll buy more widgets. Producers, on the other hand, have decided how many widgets to bring to market. Because of the diminishing product of labor, the first widgets they produce are the cheapest, and they'll only sell additional widgets if the prices rise. If the producers try to set a price that's too high, they'll bring too many widgets to the market, and demand won't meet supply. This is called a surplus. If the market price is set too low, then supply won't meet demand, and there'll be a shortage. Surpluses and shortages are both considered to be market failures. When the number of goods produced equals the number of goods demanded, the cost of the last good produced will set the market price, and the market will clear. The market clears when all consumers who demand the good at a price higher than the cost of production are satisfied, and social welfare is maximized. That's great if there are so many buyers and sellers, but what if there's only one firm that produces the good? If a producer can differentiate his product from similar goods through advertising, brand loyalty, or innovation, he's said to be a monopolist in production. Monopolists have power in the market to charge a higher price. Instead of supplying at the allocatively efficient level of production, monopolists choose to limit production and take advantage of their market power to take some of the surplus consumers receive when they would otherwise get a good deal. Unfortunately, this limited production will lead to a decrease in social welfare, what we call a deadweight loss. It's not just monopolists that cost us efficiency. Anytime a firm can take advantage of the consumer by marketing their product as new and improved, or by creating a proprietary model of delivery, they extract surplus away from consumers and keep it in the form of profit. But is profit bad? Well, recall that producers are just consumers who are giving up their hard-earned free time to make goods that other people want. If it was your company, you might seek every opportunity to make extra profit. As long as producers aren't taking advantage of people without other options, profit made from the firms with market power is considered to be okay. And that's microeconomics in a nutshell. Of course, I wouldn't expect you to be able to write a micro exam after this little chit-chat, but I hope this broad overview helps you to understand one of society's most dynamic and ubiquitous sciences. Thanks for your time.